So in case you've never seen ApprovalMax before, let me give you a bit of a reference point first, what you're seeing and what you will be seeing once you'll start your free trial. You'll find all of your zero connected approval workflows. Today, I'll be talking mainly about the zero connected workflows. So you have a separate workflows for your purchase orders, for your bills, for your credit notes, for your batch payments, and for Airwallex batch payments, something that we're going to introduce today. Overall, these workflows, it is nothing more than just a sequence of approval steps where you will assign specific rules to your users based on the information that you provided from zero, let's say on the bank account or maybe on the supplier level. So you have all of these separate workflows for different financial documents. Now, if we'll take a look on the Airwallex batch payment workflow, we'll see, and we'll try to understand the way this user interface works. We have two parts of the things. The left side of the screen would be how we're going to create our batch payments, who is allowed to raise those batches, and what type of things they're allowed to use during the batch payment creation. So if I'll add my requesters on the list, and if I'll take a look on my requester matrix, you'll see that you have several columns here, one for the bank account, one for suppliers, and the other one which will allow or does not allow your users to create new beneficiaries. So you can really assign very specific rules per your users. Let's say for John, he won't be allowed to create new beneficiaries, and he can only raise batch payments for suppliers that matches ApprovalMax and ApprovalMax GmbH, while I'll be approving and making requests for any bank account, any suppliers, and I will be allowed to create new beneficiaries. Click on done. Now the right side of the screen, that's where all the magic happens. And that's where we're creating our approval steps, and that's where we define rules per our decision makers. The first one would be an auto approval step. So let's say certain things can be automatically approved and sent for payment, maybe utility bills. You'll be able to create a list of those things that should be automatically approved and sent for the payment, maybe utility bills, everything that is less than maybe £1,000 from the supplier. Let's say it's going to be, well, let's go, it's going to be Siemens. Doesn't matter in our case. Click on done, and now we can move to the part where our actual humans are involved. At the moment, I have only one approval step, which is called financial controllers, and I have myself and Sivara, who will be approving things, if we'll take a look inside, based on the different bank accounts. Whether we're approving now any amounts, doesn't matter if it's £1 or if it's gazillion pounds, it will still go to one of us here. In case we would like to create a hierarchy of things, we can always click on a plus sign. It will create an additional step for us. Let's say this one will be financial or maybe CFO. And we will add someone else who will be approving bills on behalf of that particular step. And let's say Veronica, she'll be approving all the bills that are over or equal to 100,000 or 1 million pounds. So in that case, we will create a hierarchy and ladder of these different approvers, making sure that only corresponding people, only people who is relevant to that particular request will see that and make their approval decision. Now, the last part of that cycle would be to make the actual payment into Airwallex. Since we have this two-factor authentication, only the users who has 2FA active will be allowed to make the actual payments. So you can add all of those payers here within ApprovalMax, and the actual payment will be made within ApprovalMax. So then send the transaction into Airwallex, and then you will receive the actual, then you will send the actual money to your supplier. Once it's all done, just confirm changes within your workflow or activate the workflow in case you're just starting with that. And if you are set as the requester, you'll be able to create a batch payment within ApprovalMax. Create a request, add those bills that you would like to include in your batch for the payment run. For instance, I can group it by a supplier and I can select all the bills from ApprovalMax GmbH. Click add on all of them, and now you have a list of everything that you wanted to pay. So here, one important thing, since I've allowed myself to work with any beneficiaries and I can also create a new ones, I can take a look on the supportive documents here, maybe an invoice that our supplier sent to us, and then I can create a new beneficiary. Provide general information, what type of receipt account type it should be, let's say business, provide payment method, provide some bank and address details, and then make a check. That's how you would actually create a new beneficiary within your account. If you've created a new beneficiary and you're ready to submit it for approval, just let's select details here, provide payment reference. If you have it on the bill itself, it will be automatically taken from the bill, or if you don't have it, We just can write it here. Provide a purpose. What should be why we're paying for such bills? Let's say it will be business expenses. And submit it for approval. Now, automatically and instantly, those people who are involved in the approval process, in that case, that will be me, they will receive an email notification from us, or they will receive a push notification on their mobile phone, which will include all the details about what we're actually approving. So let's say we're going to take a look on what's the beneficiary details here. We have our purpose. We can see which bills are actually included into this approval workflow. And moreover, we can only include bills that were already approved previously. So you won't be able to include bills that are still pending approval. These are only bills that you've already approved. And if you are happy with what you're seeing, if you're ready to approve such batch payment, click on approve. Now it goes to the next step. Since I'm one of the payers, now I will find a button called Pay with Airwallex. And if I'm ready to pay it, just click on Pay with Airwallex. It will show me available balance. If I'm able to pay it here, and I can see that I have balance for that transaction, I will confirm a payment. I will include two-factor authentication. In just a second, it will be in a moment. All right. And now this payment is being processed by Airwallex. Once it is all done, you will find what's the status of that transaction. So far, it's in processing. And you'll also find that there is an audit report, which will show you, well, it takes a couple of seconds to generate one, which will show you who made the actual decision and why they made it. Let's see if it's already here. It takes a bit more seconds than I thought. Anyway, while it's generating, I will show that to you on the other example. Here, I already got the batch payment that I've already sent for approval. It's already being paid. I've got this audit report here. And if I'll take a look inside, I can see who made the actual decision, why they've made it, and when they've made it. So for each transaction that you're approving, we will be generating such audit reports. Moreover, you will find links to both your Airwallex account. So if you have access to your Airwallex, you'll be able to take a look on that over there, and also into your Xero in case you want to reconcile it there. So you have clear understanding of who made the decision, and you can build up reports based on all of the information provided to you within just one platform. So you don't need to switch your platforms to make the actual payment. Everything could be done within one place. So that's in a nutshell the way this integration works.